Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new video series I'm going to be calling Glitch Breakdown, where I'm going to take some of the best glitches in video games and I'm going to break it down as simply as possible, so maybe the next time you watch your favorite speedruns, you'll have an easier time understanding what is actually going on, and maybe you can share the knowledge after watching this video. And for the first video, I'm going to be going over storage in a Wind Waker. So, how does storage work? Well, for this example, to make it pretty easy to understand, I'm going to break this down in two terms. We're going to be using the terms of state. So imagine that you have state 0 and state 1. Now, state 0 is your gameplay state. That's when you're playing around with Link, everything is normal, right? You have full control, you can use your sword, you can, move around, you can do whatever, you can use your items. And then you have state 1. State 1 is when the game is restricting you from actually basically playing the game. This is when you're in a cutscene, this is when you have a text box, you're talking to someone, you're opening up a chest, you're opening up a door, or you're taking out the Wind Waker, you name it, anything like that. In those situations, the game is going to restrict what actual inputs you can do. Now, how does the game actually determine what state you should be in? Well, obviously, when you take out, for example, the Wind Waker, it's going to indicate, hey, go to state 1. State 1, you're restricting his inputs, right? Now, when you're actually done and you're pressing the B button, the actual game is going to tell it, hey, go back to state 0, give Link control. Now, here's a question. What happens if you can make the game actually put you back to the playable state when you're already in the playable state? Well, this is exactly what is known as storage. So, in this situation, what actually ends up happening is if you're able to be in the playable state and you're able to trick the game or do certain actions that makes the game tell the game, hey, go back to a playable state when you're already in it, it's going to remember this and store it, hence the name storage. So the next time you're supposed to lose control over Link and get restrictions by being put up into the other state, the game is instead going to allow you to stay in the playable state and actually move around as normal. Now, this is where all of the actual uses of this glitch comes into play. Multiple things that are actually normally in an unplayable state have a lot of really cool uses and effects. For example, have you ever realized how when you take out the Wind Waker or the Ocarina in Ocarina of Time, for example, you're never actually facing a wall, like the camera doesn't just go out of bounds, right? What it does instead is that it makes so that Link always has to face the camera. So, if I'm standing in front of a wall in Wind Waker and I take out the Wind Waker, you're going to notice that the camera is going to 180 in one frame, and it's going to make Link turn around because he has to face the camera because no one wants to see his back, right? And that's where, if you have control over Link in the Wind Waker mode, it's really useful. If you enter the water, for example, and you hold up, well, if you turn around, the camera's going to turn around with you, which means that you can frame perfectly turn around over and over again, causing you to get a bunch of negative speed, and this allows you to super swim. Now, let's take another easy example in the speedrun, opening up a chest. As you can see when opening up a chest, Link gets very, very close to the chest, more closer than he would ever normally be able to be if you were in the normal state. So, what does the game do? Well, when you're in the animation of opening up a chest, it shrinks Link's hitbox to be much smaller than it usually is. And this is why it's very useful, because since the game never has time to finish the animation of opening up the chest, that means you get to keep the effects, and by so, you can now from now on actually keep the shrinked hitbox that the game applied for the chest, which is why you can walk up walls, or even squeeze through tiny gaps that are left by the developers that they never cared to patch because, well, normally Link wouldn't be able to squeeze through them. But I hope they cleared up some confusion and hopefully gives you a better understanding into how storage actually works in Wind Waker. But either way, is there any other glitches that you would like me to cover next? Be sure to leave a comment down in the comment section, and I'll do my best to take the top suggestions and possibly make a video on them, and hopefully break them down and make it a little bit easier for you to understand what's actually going on behind the scenes for making all these glitches possible. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I will see you all in the next video.